blessings and forgiveness. We ask, Lord, that you be with us tonight, concerning the citizens of Bryant, that we'll do so in the right way, that we'll do what's best for the people. Watch over us all and protect us in our daily lives. We pray in your prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, I have a motion to approve the April 28, 2015 regular city council meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes approved. We have a motion to approve the May 18, 2015 special city council meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd like to announce that our girls won the state 7A soccer championship this past week, and our guys also won the state track championship. They were all invited to be here tonight so we could recognize them. They are having fun and end-of-year parties and everything else. So if you see those guys out there, give them a big pat on the back. They represented us well this week across the state. Are there any other announcements or presentations for tonight? We don't have 6 proclamations on each other. Okay, and any committee or commission reports that will be covered later in the meeting. Okay. How about departmental reports?
Hello, everyone. I promised you that in the last budgeting process last year that I would come back before you before I ordered a couple of pieces of equipment. And those pieces of equipment, one of them is for water, it's a hydro excavation piece of equipment, and the other one is for streets, and it's a dual purpose. It's a street cleaner, street sweeper, plus a leak vac. So we're ready to move forward with those. And the leak vac and the street sweeper will be a lot quicker response on that. But for the other truck, I'll have to order, and it'll take a few months for it to get in. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward with those orders. Any questions?
Do you think we need to wait until after the July finance meeting?
No, ma'am. We're in good shape. We're okay with our budget.
Street and water budget are fine.
Money is.
I'm trying.
The leaf sucker thing here, does it come out of the streets or is it?
Come out of streets.
Is there any way we can use any federal state funds for that?
The one we're using now is purchased off of the federal bill. We're purchasing off of the state bid, so.
It's not, you know what?
Yeah, but no, there's not, I don't know of any federal funds.
Okay, all right. Just has to. Master contract.
Thanks.
Sure.
Okay, I've got quite a few things. I'm trying to make it fast. And I'm going to go ahead and try and just do all the different items for the different reports I have to do later tonight too. So if I don't get them, but I just wanted to let you guys know that the police expenses are high this month because we did make the first installment on the lease payment for the police cars. Also, the 911 cash flows have been added to the cash page at the bottom next to the Springfield money, and that really lowered our general fund money. So if you look, that brought us down to 123 days, and our goal is to stay around 120. So we're getting pretty close to our max. But that needed to be added in there because that money can only be spent on certain pre-approved 911 amounts. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know, I haven't really addressed this with you before, but I don't have any budgeted amount in there for interest revenue, gains, or losses, and I've done that intentionally because when I looked at the 2014 numbers, they basically canceled each other out. So I'm just expecting that then. I just wanted to let y'all know that's why there's nothing in there. I did that on purpose. And then one of the items in budget adjustment tonight is $8,700 to pay the IRS for some stuff back from 2011 on W-2s. So we've been working on that for a while now. It was quite a bit more than that. They brought the penalty down. So I think 8,700 is a good, and we need to just do that and move forward. Then, settle it, they'll settle it. And then 33K on the debt to approve money spending down that last bit of the street bonding. And then also I wanted to just publicly announce the July 21st meeting for second quarter budget meeting at 6 o'clock at the conference room, or no, in here actually. And then I passed out a report earlier, I put it on the agenda of the surplus sale. So if there are any questions on that, and then also I passed around a summary of the current debt situation. And I wanted
Did you address Alderman Miller's questions about the surplus?
Yes, I sent them out in an email to all of you guys, and that one of them was the $8,700 for the IRS. The rest of that difference was $6,000 for an increase for our internship program. The street is $15,000 for Spring Hill. I talked about, I answered all of her surplus questions. Do you want me to go through?
No, I apologize. I just want to make sure everything's
No, that's fine.
On the surplus sale, we got 16,343, and you said each individual department got to keep their own monies. Is that
Well, and down at the bottom, I broke it up by each individual department. And Parks is expecting some, but theirs will go on the municipal, like auction website, so when they get their money, they're expecting to spend that on vehicle repair. So, but police is already, and then police will have even more, and I outlined in the email I sent over today what they plan to spend that money on. So, and I haven't brought it to you guys because I kind of wanted to wait till we got some of the money back from the things that were put on the auction. So,
And all the IT stuff has to be cleaned and.
if it has a hard drive, and so that just takes a little bit more time. So I think we're going to separate some of that out, sell some of it on the live auction web pages. The things that have to be cleaned, we'll probably send them to Dell because it's going to work out to be the easiest thing to do, because we just don't have the capabilities to do that. Yes, exactly.
But the school uses those if you can't get rid of them and if they are clean, the East Lab, because they do break them apart, see how they're put together, and they learn from it. So if you have a place that you need other than the, e-dump, the school would probably appreciate the donation.
Okay, that's good to know. And then on the summary for the debt that I put before you guys tonight, I talked to bond counsel and the trustees and lots of different people. I just wanted to go ahead and bring this summary to you guys. I already sent out a summary of kind of your big projects by your different wards for the July 21st meeting. So this is sort of to tell you where we stand on debt. If your decision is that you want to refund these things that are up for refund after the audits are complete, because right now we're kind of in a holding pattern. The only thing you could do is make a determination later in the coming months to say, okay, yes, we want to refund, or no, we want to refund, and then turn that around and new money and like put it out further to like 2045 for payoff, and for some of those projects that were on the list earlier. Also, I wanted to draw your attention to, on the far left, that's all your governmental debt, and on the very far left, the 2006-2007, the sales tax is actually coming in over the anticipated amount. So if you see the little A indicator and B indicator, those are going to pay off earlier than anticipated. So I wanted to point that out to you. And then over on the far right, I did not get a chance to finish my schedule, I'll be honest with you, because I'm having to do all this out by hand. But they're all lumped together for the 2A and RC debts, but those can be divided out between principal and interest. I just did that for the total purposes to go ahead and give you guys this tonight. So are there any questions on the debt? Down at the bottom is the lease information on Agenda 78.
Did you get all this stuff?
No, I haven't yet, but
I'll
I'll send that to you guys after this. And like I said, I just kind of wanted to get you guys something tonight so that, for the June meeting, the July meeting, you can talk about it. Any other questions?
Are you yet to go over the April summary?
Well, I
Are you
can,
gonna do that now or later?
well, that was what I was mentioning about making the fleet payment and the $8,700 on the budget adjustments, but as we get to there, I mean, I can talk more about it if you have any questions, particular questions, because it's going to be later in the meeting.
Okay, I'll wait till later.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other, are there any other departmental reports?
Okay. So for those council members that are not familiar with the Bark Breeder Park, we are in the middle of competing this contest to get $100,000 for our dog park build. And right now Bryant is in 10th place. We dropped a little bit from this morning. And that's out of 300 communities that are participating nationwide. So we are definitely in the running, but we need everybody to vote every day until June 10th, when they'll close the first days of the contest. So as long as we can stay up there, we'll make it to the finals and then be definitely in the running for that $100,000 grand prize. So if you need any information, need a website or anything, I've got flyers right here.
How many of the top 10 do they,
They take the top 15.
the top 15? Okay.
So provided that we've already got all of the things that we needed to do as far as to confirm with them that we're serious about building a dog park. All of those items have been uploaded. Right now, we're just trying to gather some more ammunition to show them that we do have widespread community support. I'd like to get a letter for each one of you, just reiterating that the council is supportive of the dog park bill. So if I could get that within the next few days, that would be wonderful. And like I said, from here on out, it's just vote, vote, vote every day.
Would you mind if Chris drafted a letter that we could all just put our names on?
Sure, that's no problem at all. I'm sure he would. I don't mind doing that.
If he doesn't mind.
And what happens after June the 10th? Is it goes into like a?
So what they'll do is they'll close everything down on the website for a few days while they take a look at the top 15 cities, and then they'll make sure that we have all of our documents in place. So they want to make sure that we have land, that we have the ability to build the park, all of that stuff. So they're going to look at all of that, make sure that everybody's ready to go, and then they'll announce the 15 finalists. And then what we do is we vote again in the finals, and it's the number of votes as well as the community spirit. That, you know, if we've been able to rally the entire community to support us in our effort. I think that's a big part of this contest. Any other questions? Thanks.
Thank you, Tricia. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Are there any other departmental reports? Joey, you're back up again for the report on the city. Did you do the report on the city socialist? I haven't touched on it.
Oh, yes, yeah, I sent it out to them early, so.
Okay, so we'll do that. And are there any public comments tonight? Joe? Joe?
I will tell you who I am, right?
Where you live?
I'm Joe Wisher. I live at 856 Joyce Drive, Benton, Arkansas. And I'm here representing myself. And this is my opinion. Don't get upset with me because I feel responsible. That's why I come before you from time to time and tell you what I feel. The ordinance that you're going to consider tonight are the amending of an old ordinance addressing alcohol consumption in certain ways in city parks. I believe you're under two considerations right now. Is that right? Just two, alcohol and Bishop. What bothers me about Bishop Park is the fact that Boys and Girls Club is housed there. The baseball field that young people play on, we just had a wonderful tournament this past weekend in spite of the weather. There was still a lot of young folks out there playing. And there was some young people fishing in the, I call it the soccer field, out there in the back. But along with making money, which is one thing to consider certainly, also important after the fact, sometimes before and during and after the fact. But if young people are present in that particular area, even if it's inside a building in a controlled environment, in one room, one particular part of it, and right down the hall or on the floor below, perhaps a young person having a birthday party, I wonder what kind of impression that we're having on young people. Because I consider that a family-oriented park. Now, Alcoa Road can be more or less a controlled environment. But it's more difficult to have a controlled environment at Bishop Center. And I would be very afraid of a person that had been having a good time at an event inside Bishop Center and getting in an automobile and operating it outside where young people are present. If you had Fall Fest going on and a parade going on, and somebody was wanting to use it at a certain time, it is very dangerous under the circumstances now in that environment because of operating an automobile. And unfortunately, what happens to one person when it to alcohol is not necessarily what might happen to another. So I would ask that you would consider that along with the fact that it's a money-making venture.
Thank you for your input. Are there any other public comments?
Chairman Alton here on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. We are in favor of the alcohol in the parks. I think that it would be beneficial to the parks themselves. Also, as far as the Boys and Girls Club, one of their biggest money raisers has been moved to the Benton area just because of not having an ordinance. So I really think that it will definitely benefit, and we can try to control everybody, but that isn't what you all are here for, is to try and control every aspect of every environment. And that's supposed to be a good thing for the city.
Are there any other public comments at this time? Okay, if there are no other public comments, that takes us to all business for parks. Brandon, bring this up. This is, ordinance that we just had public comment on, to be placed on second reading. Is there a motion to put this on second or second and third reading by title only?
Motion to put on second and third by title only.
The motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Passed, motion passed.
Is there discussion?
Motion failed.
Oh, it failed, you said? I thought you said.
It was 6-2.
The other discussion.
If you want to discuss it, there's discussion now.
I'm very concerned about Alcoa Park. And I know that we'd asked Brandon to give us some feedback on what people were saying and what information we were getting. But my concern is on the Alcoa Park and just starting with Bishop and possibly adding Alcoa at a later date. Did you give me some feedback on what you think about that?
Yeah, actually, feedback also in terms of, that's the first time I've heard, I appreciate that, feedback negatively about it. I actually have letters from the Softball Association, Boys and Girls Club, and the Chamber of Commerce supporting this at both parks. For Alcoa Park, honestly, that's probably one of the easier ones to regulate, because the fencing, the areas that we have fenced off and we're able to segregate for drinking and alcohol consumption. I think that makes it a very advantageous site for this, as well as the ability to put that money back into that park. I think any park, you're going to have the exact same concerns. It has to do with, are you able to secure the area for these kind of events? And a lot of it comes down to decisions that individuals make. I think I agree with Jeremiah on that aspect, that we can't govern every one of the decisions, but we can do the best we can to be stringent on these laws and what we do with this ordinance. have is not only a representation of other cities, what they do, but it's far more stringent than other cities that surround us that do these same exact things. I think it's important to be able to have some of these events in these parks. I think that you're going to be able to make the park more appealing, to put money back into those parks, because without this money, without raising the funds to put back into these parks, they're going to maintain a lot of the shape they're in.
So the money that's used for renting those facilities for that particular park goes back into that particular park?
That's the idea, is to earmark that money into that park, to raise money to upkeep that park. Because right now, that park doesn't make any kind of revenue. It's used for practices chiefly.
It's not used for it.
No, just associations use it.
Football.
Yeah, it's been vandalized recently. It has, really, the way people are able to vandalize when they were driving over the middle of the night, vandalizing the car, everything. During the middle of the day, when you have police out there, when you have a sectioned off area for alcohol consumption, those kind of things aren't going to happen. Vandalism is an unfortunate thing, but when it comes to these situations, I think that with our Parks Committee and what we've discussed, we've got some pretty stringent policy in place for Bishop Park and for Alcoa.
Because didn't you say that there would be a police officer
Correct. Yes.
on site for each?
Yeah, if it's an outdoor event, you can guarantee there's going to be security on site in front of you. Indoor events depend on, upstairs in banquet rooms especially, it really depends on the event. If there's a wedding or something on a smaller scale, I think we use a lot of discretion in the park, but you can easily secure those areas because they are walled off and roomed off, and you can use what's on that actual, if you still look at the ordinance, one of the two variations to be able to regulate the alcohol in that area to decrease overconsumption.
So once again, if something goes awry with this ordinance, just to my fellow council members, we can always change it.
We could certainly revisit it, because that's the last thing I want.
We could simply just take alcohol out.
Brandon, let me ask you, what type of events would you have at Alcoa?
I had, individuals have asked me currently about having grilling competitions out there. You could have any kind of kickball, something to that extent. And what's great is you have those fields, you can utilize some of those fields as designated areas where you can only have the alcohol. So it's very easy to secure. It's a fence inside of the fence. And you have a very back portion. We were talking about a dog park that we're trying to get going here in the future. And I know right now that a lot of cities, to get some of these dog parks and some of these programs in, is they have alcohol as a part of the event, and it can be tasteful. And alcohol obviously gets a very negative connotation because bad things can happen. But if you are able to regulate it and tastefully, we can be very safe.
There's a motion, second reading, second, third reading, by title only.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 2000-30 and 1998-17 regarding permission, possession, and consumption of alcohol in designated and permitted areas within certain city parks and for other purposes.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Within the ordinance itself, does it state Alcoa and Bishop?
Those were two approved parks.
Because in the title, it does not have that.
And they're not, that's the title. It does not have that in the title.
It's in the ordinance, it does.
But it is in the body of the ordinance? I didn't bring it up, sorry.
Actually, I left that particular part out, it is not in there, so that if council wanted to revise it, policy-wise, we could revise where it's going to be at. I didn't say in the park. What this law does is it changes, the prior ordinance prevented you from selling or consuming alcohol in city parks or what. This allows you only in designated specific areas, and there's an application process that is initially attached and in defined areas. And by leaving the administrative side of that flexible, if, for example, we're having problems at Alcoa, administratively, y'all come out and say, I don't want these at Alcoa anymore, we're going to vote on it, it's done. We don't have to change the ordinance. We don't have to rewrite the ordinance.
There's a separate ordinance from this park that does not allow alcohol consumption.
So,
Completely separate.
So that's why I didn't include it in the actual ordinance as to the specific locations, because I didn't want to have to define, because we'd have to define either the gymnasium or the upstairs park or the ball fields or whatever. We can do that on an as-needed basis under this ordinance. Basically, I've taken the law which says you cannot have alcohol in the parks, and says you cannot have alcohol in the parks except in these specific locations and under these specific circumstances. It's all done administratively. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I have a little, I mean, I'm for the ordinance, but I've got a little bit of heartburn with leaving that to somebody's discretion.
I do too.
As to where it's going to be. I don't mind coming back and changing the ordinance. I want the ordinance, personally, I would like the ordinance to outline where it's going to be.
Well, what we can do is we've done the first and second reading on it as it is. If you'd like to amend the ordinance to include a whereas and identify this only at Bishop Park and only at Alcoa, and we can add that language in there if you want to amend it. We can do that now, or if you want to hold this off to the next month, we can bring it back in.
I move for approval of the ordinance as amended, outlining Alcoa and
Bishop Center and the multi-use fields. You're not going to have any other balls.
Just Bishop Park.
No, not
Case at all.
Yeah, with Bishop Park,
We can do
there's a
Bishop.
lot of work.
Yeah, you can do Bishop Park, yeah, that'd be fine. So Alcoa Park and Bishop Park only.
Yeah.
Okay. What we'll do is insert another,
Do you need a second on that?
hang on a second.
Procedurally, let me say something. Procedurally, what we need to do is we need to adopt it under the first, second, third reading as it is. And then we need to do it, then we need to amend it in all three readings.
We can actually amend
You
it.
can amend it.
Okay.
We can amend it before we do it. We can do the amending. And what we'll do is, let's see, in paragraph 4 under section 1, I'm going to change that, possess any alcoholic beverages in City Park other than in Bishop Park or Alcoa Park, and then or insert that, and other than in designated area. Okay. Where possess any alcoholic beverages in any city park other than in designated areas within Bishop Park or Alcoa Park under properly permitted events. So I'm going to insert after designated areas, Bishop Park and Alcoa Park.
I don't want to be technical, but it should be Bishop.
Bishop and
So is that's your motion to amend it as he stated?
Yes.
And I will second that.
We're voting on the amendment.
No, we're going to the ordinance as amended.
Are you doing a vote to adopt the ordinance as amended?
Yes. My motion was to adopt the ordinance as amended.
Okay, roll call vote.
Billingsley,
Yes.
Chandler,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Higginbotham,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Carmina,
Yes.
Rodell.
As amended.
What number is that?
2015-16 has been adopted by City Council as amended. Okay, new business. Tricia, you're up. This is an ordinance setting a fee schedule for the Department of Animal Control of the City of Bryant and for other purposes. Tricia, how many years has it been since this ordinance has been updated?
Since 1989.
1999. Okay. Tricia, would it be favorable to just put this on first reading, title only tonight and finish, and let it sit for 30 days and finish up with the no emergency?
We waited this long.
Well, nothing right since 1999. Is there a motion to put on first reading by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
An ordinance setting a fee schedule for the Department of Animal Control in the City of Bryant and for other purposes.
There's no objection, it's set for 30 days. Anybody has any questions, feel free to call myself or Tricia. Finance Department. This is a request for presentation and approval of the 2015 April year-to-date city financial report. Any questions for Joy?
I do on general. I will not be able to be there in July because I already have a previous vacation in, but our expenses are more than our revenues already in June. At what point do we need to go in and adjust the annual budget? Is that what you do? At what point do we wait 6 months and then review it, or how do we do that?
We're looking at some things to go in June and possibly consider savings from the fuel lines to cover some further repairs and maintenance. I'm going to run those numbers this month and see if I can bring in anything as early as June. If not, we'll talk about it that night. But it's the way that I ended the meeting for the first quarter that we had. We knew when we made this budget that I cut a lot of money out of repairs and maintenance, and it was not a realistic amount budgeted for those items for this year. So we knew this was coming. At some point, we're going to have to make some tough decisions and decide things that we want to cut if we want to do our repairs and maintenance basically. And so I'll be bringing you those things in June and July and continue to have that discussion. So, on a positive note, I think I got ahead of myself on the surplus sale, and I thought, well, I've given them the report, but I didn't really give any kudos. And I probably should have done that because we got over $15,000 and it was a much more successful event than it's been in the past. We've had a lot of good citizen comments. The $15,000 is not all we're going to get because we have a lot of those items that are going to go on the website to be sold. So that's really good. I mean, I think that those departments, they work hard to do that so that they can turn their money around and put it towards the repairs and maintenance. So things like that, I think, are a step in the right direction.
I was just concerned on the general budget. I mean, I know our sales tax has come in a little bit above, which is good.
It's good.
Good. I mean, I will say that, but I do have legitimate concerns with our general budget, and at some point we're going to have to adjust the revenues in order to make it realistic.
It's really more about adjusting the expenses because,
right.
I mean, what we've got to do is consider items we need to cut if we want to put the repairs and maintenance back. So, I need feedback from you guys about, you've got, 75 pages of budget there, so you have every line, a lot of detail. So if you see something that you think, hey, maybe we don't need this year. Bring that up and we'll talk about it and see if that's something that the group wants to consider. Anything else on the report? Like I said, I went through kind of the executive summaries and pointed out, why some of the expenses in general were raised this month for April, and then also some of the specifics on the budget amendments that are the next item. But any other questions on any of that detail?
Is there a motion to approve the 2015 April year-to-date city financial report?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we have a resolution providing for the adoption of an amended budget for the city of Bryant for the 12-month period beginning January 1st, 2015. January 1st, 2015, ending December 31st, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
Give us some information about the fire.
Oh, yes, and if you'll notice, that's not actually in general, that's in the 55 fund, so it's not in our part of it. It was just a mistake that I made actually when I did the budget, that the transfers needed to be for the exact amount, and I had balanced the fund and not the two transfer accounts. So that's an error on my part, and I'm going to correct that. And it doesn't really have anything to do with actually what we pay out or anything. On our side of getting our books right. And then I just wanted to go on and say too that we tried really hard to keep this budget neutral, but the two items, the $8,700 for IRS, the internship, we're getting a lot of good out of that internship program, so we think that's something we should go ahead and put that money there. And then The 911 funds are the bulk of the increase, and those, they cannot be spent on anything else. So, that's just basically putting those in there. We actually increased the revenue side a little bit too, because our estimate we thought might be a little bit low based on what came in for the first quarter. So,
Did the internship come under the professional services
Yes.
under the 5586?
yes, it's the other part of that, so it's $6,000 in that line. So, and they'll be given a report to at the July meeting. So, and then if you'll also notice on the second page, that 33 is the end of the street bond 2008 debt that I was talking about. And then the 60,000 and the 44,000 are more transfer accounts that I'm just adjusting and getting those, a little bit closer after I've been here for a while longer. And, then that's pretty much the rest of it's in and out. Any other questions?
Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This will be resolution 2015-32. Ms. Madison is up next. This is an ordinance with an emergency clause. I'll let Chris explain it once instead of me.
Andres Woods is a multi-purpose improvement district that we passed back some time ago. They had some issues getting set up, and the number that they were initially issued, they didn't get set up in time. The county issued that number to somebody else. So all we're doing is amending the ordinance to change their number from 94 to 98. That's all it is. And it's just to clarify it so that we get our books straight with the county books and their books.
There's not any.
I believe it's what it should be in the ordinance.
So it says,
The first one, they didn't, when we passed the ordinance, it was left blank, and they usually come back to fill it in. That didn't get completed. They missed some deadlines on their side, and the county days got messed up, so this is just to fix that.
Okay, so if there's no other questions, is there a motion to put on first reading by title only?
So moved.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance to amend ordinance number 2014-09 to correct a misnumbered improvement district number and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to put on second and third reading by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 2014-09 to correct a misnumbered improvement district number and declaring an emergency.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt?
So moved now.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Billingsley,
Yes.
Chandler,
Yes.
Gladden,
Yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Higginbotham,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Fermenter,
Yes.
Rodell.
Yes.
Is there a motion to add the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Billingsley,
Yes.
Chandler,
Yes.
Gladden,
Yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Higginbotham,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Fermenter,
Yes.
Rodell.
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-17 has been adopted by the Bryant City Council. Parks Department, Brandon, you're going to go again. This is to discuss the parks.
Take up all you guys' time. I actually handed out a color sheet that was updated. I was waiting on one particular page from Greg to get done for me, so if you want to pick that up. The backside, the only change from what we've done previously is the community sponsorship, the other sponsor opportunities, and the new display locations. The actual anchor sponsorship, room sponsorships, testimonials, and the founding sponsorship are already something that put in place about 5 years ago. When we first built the park, there was scoreboard signage, et cetera. Right now, we're working on updating those and working with several vendors in the community to get new sponsors. And the idea behind the community sponsorship is to be able to earmark money back into those parks, Ashley, Midland, Alcoa Mills, and be able to put that money back into them, get regular upkeep. And also working with the associations in a way that we would earmark a percentage of that money for whatever project next year they want to do in that park. So we have 5 years, $20,000. In total, with all 4 parks, there's 650 square feet of signage. And it's all tastable in each one of the parks in areas where our signage either already exists or easily could exist without actually overwhelming, for lack of a better word. The catering list is a simple list we put in the hands of everyone who comes in and wants to have any kind of catering event in the center. Having their information, their number, their location, maybe a link to their menu, so that we can hand that in people's hands. I think it's pretty valuable to a lot of different catering companies in the community. We work with a ton that come in on a daily basis to the center. So I think it's a really common sense revenue solution that we can put back into our equipment at Bishop Park and our facility. As well as the digital signage and the gym locations. We're about to have Academy Sports gave us an $8,000 sponsorship for gym mats within the actual gymnasium just recently. And that allows us to stop fixing the wall when people go through it every day. So that'll be fantastic. If you have any questions, feel free to fire away.
So this is just to increase sponsorship?
These are additional sponsorship packages. We're also looking at a couple memorial programs, memorial brick programs, the pool, memorial tree programs, memorial bench programs that already exist. Ways that we can get amenities in our parks without having to use taxpayer funds. Capitalize on the traffic we have. Yeah, fire sale.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Brandon, I want to thank you. I know you worked very, very hard on this package. Well done. Exactly what we were looking for. Sorry. Okay, next is an ordinance amending ordinance number 2010-8. This is pertaining to fees in the park.
Basically, we had a fee of $155 for a 3-month adult membership. We have never sold one in the history of the park. It's outpriced, and we changed the map so that we can sell it. Endorse our park.
Motion approved.
Second.
Is there a motion to put on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
An ordinance amending ordinance number 2010-08 as previously amended.
To adjust certain fees and for other purposes. Is there a motion to put on second and third reading by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to adopt. Oh,
An ordinance amending ordinance number 2010-08 as previously amended to adjust certain fees and for other purposes.
motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Billingsley,
Yes.
Chandler,
Yes.
Gladden,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Higginbotham,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Carmina,
Yes.
Rodell.
Yes.
This will be ordinance 2015-18. And adopted by the Bryant City Council. Next is a resolution. This is pertaining to a match with no grant, but it does require, in order for us to apply for the grant, it requires this resolution.
I have a question. Why do we lock down 15 years for a contract agreement to provide necessary resources to maintain this park and facilities for a period of 15 years?
The resolutions, in fact, the Mills Park Playground is one of these outdoor grants, and for, it's a SR4, I think is what it falls under, which means it has to be an outdoor recreation facility for its entirety. You can't actually close that park, or close that playground, I should say, exclusively. These funds are a way that the Department of Tourism basically is able to make sure that these are for recreational use. This trail right here is actually, when we renovate the parking lot, to make it accessible for individuals with disabilities between the tennis courts and the pool, and hopefully over the other side of Mills Park, which is allowed to do in the grant. They only get about $75,000, so I can see exactly how much, no matching, it's all just.
So this isn't hindering us in any way to have that clause in there for 15 years?
Just trying to make the parking lot accessible.
Asphalt and concrete.
Yeah, 75,000, it's not, currently it's not, $75,000.
That basically says that Mills Park will still be Mills Park in 15 years.
There'll be a parking lot right there, and then in between the pool and the tennis courts, and have a handicap accessible ramp and a tennis court.
That was just a little vague, and I
Yeah, they have that in their verbiage because they want to make sure we use this fund. It's not something that, and they stated this during a lot of the, actually we enjoyed most of the meeting, that you can't put any kind of indoor facility in any of that space because you would change it. You guys can outdoor. So that's what they're trying to do is protect the outdoor recreation fields.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This will be resolution 2015-33. That takes us to Marlon, you're up next. This is a resolution expressing the willingness of the city of Bryant to utilize state aid street monies for this Bryant Spring Hill Road overlay project. This is a
Move for
requirement.
approval.
Second.
Go ahead, Dave.
Second.
Gary, you're good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They've already started work on that. Everybody's excited to have that road improved.
Yeah, so just for your information, that is one I handed you out.
Okay. So, resolution 2015-34. And I want to mention something I saw this week. Our neighboring city is considering an ordinance to make it more, it's stated to be more friendly for restaurants to sell alcohol and allow them to not have to purchase their alcohol at wholesale. It kind of removes all the private club restrictions and those type of things. I haven't had a chance to dig into it. I know staff's been very, very busy with other things this week, but I just want to bring that to y'all's attention, maybe something you want to consider in future meetings and so just let us know.
I also have something from a neighboring city resolution. That's going to be brought up in the police and business.
No, this would be a proper time.
This is from,
My understanding,
this is
you have to wait
from,
6 months after the alcohol before you can have by the current or
I don't know exactly what they're doing, if that's correct. I mean, there's a way you can do it, you have to wait 6 months, and also I think it depends on the number of permits that have been issued in the county.
See, from what I understood, the city council knows can make that connection as well, so I think that's what they're choosing to do. It can either go, it can either be that period of 6 months with not many establishments.
It seems like, I can't remember if it's an and/or what, but I know there's a time requirement, and there's also 100 permits in the county, if they issued a certain number of permits.
Yeah, I'll make a public comment about how this works. The state legislature passed a law a couple of years ago, that was specifically for Washington County, or up in Fayetteville area, Northwest Arkansas, Benton County, I think. They had went wet, but they still had private clubs. And so the state legislature passed a law that allowed the local municipality to pass an ordinance if within their county they had over 100 permits to distribute alcohol in any capacity, so all your convenience stores and C-stores and everything. And they had Benton County in mind, but Saline County's not met that threshold. I think they're like 125 permits in town. And so you can pass an ordinance at any time. I don't think you have to wait 6 months, you can double check, but you can pass it to do away with private clubs, and that will allow your Luigi's and other local restaurants to purchase liquor wholesale. And it does away with a permitting fee. They will still have some fees, but I don't think it's quite.
Well, if they have to purchase their alcohol at retail and
Yeah.
sell it to the citizens at Double Retail.
This resolution that you have before you is going to be brought up at Municipal League on Wednesday, June the 24th at 5:30 at the Resolutions Committee. And what this basically is asking is to make an alderwoman, not an alderman, to make it gender neutral, but it has to go through the legislature. It has to go through the legislature. This is actually something that has to go through the legislature in order to change. So that is why this came up, and this is being brought up by my dear mother from Paris, Arkansas, as a sponsorship. So I wanted you to have this and know that this is going to be brought up at the municipal league convention and why.
I like the picture. That's an issue that means old man, so I think that's very good that we can change that. Yeah, some of us don't fit, I don't.
Anyway, I just thought you might want to know that. Thank you.
We're talking private.
I have to be sworn in as an alderman. I have to, by the law, I have to be sworn in as an alderman.
So let's change that.
Take it off.
By law. Meeting's adjourned.